Newark, New Jersey, was a city of sharp edges and shadows, where the air buzzed with the hum of traffic and the flicker of neon signs. For Chino, a young Chinese Puerto Rican boy, it was home, a place where survival depended on speed and instinct. Born to absent parents who were too lost in their own struggles to notice his, Chino had learned to fend for himself from a young age. His natural agility set him apart. He could leap over fences and scale gates with the grace of a cat. But in the tough streets of Newark, these talents had drawn the attention of a local gang. They saw potential in Chino and initiated him into their ranks, teaching him the art of petty crime. Their targets were usually food delivery workers, vulnerable and often carrying cash. The sun had barely set when Chino and his gang spotted their mark, a delivery worker on a bike, loaded down with bags of Chinese takeout. The man was pedaling steadily, unaware of the danger lurking in the shadows. Chino and his gang lay in wait, crouched in the mouth of an alley. The leader, a wiry older boy with a scar across his cheek, gave the signal. In a flash, they surged forward, surrounding the delivery worker. "Hand over the bags, old man," the leader barked, reaching for the bike's handlebars. But the delivery worker was not as easy prey as they had expected. He swung a heavy lock and chain with surprising speed, forcing the gang to step back. The worker's eyes burned with defiance, a spark of fight that caught Chino off guard. Suddenly, the wail of police sirens pierced the night air. Blue and red lights flickered against the buildings as a patrol car screeched to a halt nearby. Officers spilled out, shouting commands, their flashlights cutting through the darkness. "Scatter," yelled the gang leader, panic lacing his voice. Chino's heart pounded as he sprinted down the narrow alley, the chaos of the chase exploding around him. Behind him, he heard the delivery worker making his escape, still swinging the lock and chain. Chino's feet barely touched the ground as he vaulted over trash cans and leaped fences with the precision of a trained acrobat. The police were relentless, their footsteps echoing off the walls, their flashlights dancing wildly. Chino turned sharply into a side alley, narrowly avoiding a stack of wooden pallets. Ahead, another fence loomed. Without breaking stride, he launched himself over it, landing softly on the other side. He could hear the officer's shouts grow louder behind him. The alleyways were a labyrinth of escape routes and dead ends. Chino's mind raced as he searched for a place to hide, until he spotted a dumpster, a perfect spot to disappear. Without hesitation, he dove into the dumpster and closed the lid, his breath coming in shallow gasps as he listened to the sounds of the pursuit fade away. Minutes dragged by like hours, and finally, the police officers' voices became distant. Cautiously, Chino pushed open the lid and peered out. The coast was clear. He climbed out, wiping grime from his clothes, and made his way back through the maze of alleys to his apartment. The building was old and worn, but it was a refuge from the streets. Chino was inside his bedroom, the next morning as the city was waking up, light filtering through the worn blinds, the sound of morning traffic filling the air. He glanced out the window that led to the fire escape. Something unusual caught his eye. A majestic eagle, wings wide, gliding towards him. Chino's breath caught in his throat as the bird gracefully landed on the railing outside his window. Its sharp eyes locked onto his, a silent but powerful presence in the calm of the morning. For a moment, Chino just stared, unable to believe what he was seeing. The eagle, with feathers glistening in the soft morning light, held a small scroll tied to its leg. With a mix of curiosity and caution, Chino pushed the window open and stepped out onto the fire escape. The eagle watched him closely but made no move to leave. Chino carefully untied the scroll and unrolled it. The message was written in an elegant script: "You have been invited to make a change for the better. See you soon." Chino's heart pounded in his chest as he looked back at the eagle. The bird gave a slight nod before spreading its powerful wings and taking off, soaring into the brightening sky. He stood there for a few moments, the scroll held tightly in his hand, his mind racing. The streets had always been his life, but this message offered a way out, a chance to escape the cycle of violence and find a new path. Chino headed back to his bed with the scroll in his lap. He knew that accepting this invitation would mean leaving behind the life he knew, but for the first time, he felt a spark of possibility for something better. Chino laid back, closing his eyes, the sounds of the city slowly becoming background noise. His journey was just beginning. With Solo's guidance, he was ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead.